welcome to Viewpoints On, episode 28. Got a big show, got a lot to talk about, so let's just get straight into it.
Right into it.
The big movie that we missed over our little break is
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Now, it's no secret we're both really excited about it. Couldn't wait. It looked good. Well, you know, it looked like it was going to be a good movie. You know, you get to see the origin of Wolverine and the story that they had planned. And then
the movie happened.
And I have to say, listen, it's not terrible.
No.
The problem with it is that you can see the potential. You can see there's a good movie in there. They just fell just a little short of it.
Yeah. I had a lot wrong with that movie. I just think it was made by people who didn't really just give a crap about the comics. They just were like, I want to be different. I want to make a Wolverine movie that's kind of like, you know, nothing like anyone's ever seen before. And when you do that, you're kind of crapping on, you know, 30 years, 40 years of history the X-Men have.
Here's my problem with the movie. It feels like they spent so much time trying to develop Wolverine and caring about Wolverine that they didn't put any thought at all into the other mutants in the movie.
No.
No, I have to say Sabretooth as well. So it's like they just focused on those two and didn't really care about the other mutants in the movie. We're also excited that we're finally going to get to see Gambit. He's in it for maybe 2 minutes. Yeah. It's, you know, at the end.
It's a good 2 minutes.
It's a good 2 minutes. Yeah. But it's not what we have all been hoping for all these years. I have to say, I thought Will.I.am did a great job as John Wraith.
And they didn't screw that character up. So
this is his movie debut, but I think at this point anybody who's going to see it has seen it, so we're not giving anything away.
No, no.
Most of them all die.
Yeah.
The mutants who are in the new version of the Weapon X program, they all get killed. So, I mean, what does that give us to look forward to in a sequel if, you know, the only ones who are left are Wolverine and Gambit?
Yeah, and Sabretooth, and then...
And Wolverine can't even remember who anybody is.
And then Deadpool. Which, I don't even know if we want to really get into this again.
I don't know that we can get into Deadpool, because we have a lot of other things to talk about.
Yeah, I need like 4 shows to talk about Deadpool. And the crappy ending. And...
That, I know you'll be first in line for the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool Wade Wilson movie that they're going to make now.
If they do it correct, and it's like actually Deadpool... And it's done by a person who actually cares.
And it has nothing to do with the character that we saw in this movie.
Yeah.
They've got to completely separate it from it.
Like a nice reboot.
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't like, some of the special effects were not that special. Like the bathroom scene with the claws looked fake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the kind of person who I tend to, unless it just is glaring to me.
That was pretty glaring.
I didn't feel that.
Well, you can't see either, so...
Tim's getting personal.
I was, like, focused in on it, you know?
Well,
if I had 3D glasses, I'd be like, ooh, look at that.
By the way, Hugh Jackman just had a tank top on, so maybe I was focused on something else.
Yeah, you could see perfectly then. Like, ooh, let's see this.
I think we were looking at different things.
Get me some Hugh Jackman.
We have to say, Hugh Jackman is good in the film.
Yes, he's very good. The other problem I had with it was the blob suit. It was so obviously a fat suit. It was not even funny.
I'm going to go with you on that.
Like, he's punching him, and you could just tell it's a suit and not skin. And I'm like...
Yeah.
And the whole character, the blob, his powers are his girth, his size. That's supposed to be his power. Like, you don't get... He's not some super strong guy that just got depressed and ate a lot. You know, that's not who he is. And that's exactly what they made him in the movie.
He's an emotional eater. If he just went on a diet, he'd be okay.
Like, you would think he'd be on an episode of, like, MTV's True Life or something. Like, I'm an overeater.
The Biggest Loser.
Yeah. That's the main problem I had with it.
I just think the thing is, when you put all of these little things together, they just create a big glaring hole in the film where... You know, they could have did a better job with it. I mean, obviously, like we said, there's some pluses. Hugh Jackman is good. The story between him and Sabretooth is good. You know,
they're not brothers, but they are in the movie.
You know, that's good. I thought they did a great job with the opening sequence, the way they showed time passing with them fighting in all the wars. So there's some pluses. It's just that the minuses outweigh them, and they drag the movie down.
It didn't really hurt its box office at the beginning. It made $85 million its first weekend, so its first 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of that weekend, the sequel was already greenlit.
Right.
They were already talking about the Deadpool movie.
And then this also gives them the momentum to make the Magneto movie.
Yeah, and then the X-Men First Class movie.
Right.
So there's a lot of, you know, Fox was happy that first weekend. The next weekend that came around really wasn't too happy because it dropped 69%.
Now, to be fair, Star Trek came out the next weekend as well, so it would be interesting to see what the drop-off would be if they didn't have the competition of Star Trek.
Well, yeah, but I think the other thing, too, is Wolverine was such a crappy movie, and Star Trek was such a widely regarded movie, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
You know, had like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I think that had a lot to do with it, too.
Right,
Like,
so, and obviously these films are clearly going to be competing for the same audience.
yes.
So I'm just saying, if Star Trek hadn't come out the next weekend, I mean, I'm sure there still would have been a big drop-off, but maybe not quite 60%. What we can say is that so far, as of May 12th, it's made $132 million domestically, $212 million worldwide.
Yeah, and its budget was $150 million.
So it's not making a huge profit, but it's big enough that it greenlights all the other projects.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess is good for Fox, but I think it just shows them that you could keep making crappy movies. Without, you know, because Paramount has Marvel working with them, you know, making good movies like Iron Man and the Hulk, and, you know.
They're really getting into the history of the characters, and so, yeah, I think that if they want to continue with this X-Men franchise, they really need to get more of the sort of X-Men writers and historians involved.
Yeah, which I think is not really going to happen.
Probably not.
I think Josh Schwartz is writing First Class,
uh-huh.
and he made the OC, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but
what does that tell you?
He did the OC, and he's also does the Gossip Girl.
That's not helping your argument any.
But what I'm saying is, for the type of shows that they are quality shows. Yes, they're teeny bopper soap operas, but they're quality teeny bopper soap operas.
Sorry, I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Okay, well, whatever.